Hello, everybody, and welcome to Neurotic News with me, Damien Power, and this is Dan Rath. Hey, Dan.
Well, yeah, how's it going?
I'm all right. How are
Good.
you?
I'm yeah, I'm really good.
What did you just say? What was that word? I didn't even understand.
Rally, really,
I'm really
really.
good.
um,
It's hard to imagine
yeah,
that Valley Girl type character like being just in lockdown. I'm just like totally in lockdown right now, not able to do anything or see any friends and like totally
well,
suffering.
it's torture for them because extroverts have to adopt the opposite lifestyle
Right.
of the introvert, so they get stir crazy.
You know what fascinates me about extroverts? And I worked it out the other day. I have a friend of mine who's a true extrovert, and I realized the difference is because people think we're extroverts because we do comedy, but it's like people that actually feed off other people. Whereas
Yeah,
other people drain my energy and I slowly just want to disappear, which is why I ghost from
yeah,
so many parties. Like I just arrive, I'm like,
yeah,
hey, good to see you, man. And then just disappear and hope they just, and then when they ask me later, I'm like, yeah, I was there, remember?
yeah.
Kind
I
of
no,
thing.
I totally. Well, TV's so good now, you don't need friends really because like there's so many good shows out there.
Why do you
Like
need
there's
friends
so
if you've
many
got
good
the
shows.
Ozarks, you know?
Yeah, like what really is that? Because yeah, that's the thing. Because yeah, some people I think, and so they go crazy during quarantine because it's like they feel stir crazy, but they get to feel how you feel when you're at the Bucks night listening to the engagement speech or whatever.
Oh, yeah. When
Like
you're
that's how
amongst
you
friends.
feel.
Yeah. You're like, this is how I
Yeah,
feel when I'm amongst friends and family trying to have a good time. So I hope you're
yeah,
enjoying that.
yeah. You get to feel what
Well,
it's
in a way,
like.
they're sucking our energy as introverts.
The
Like with the,
extroverts.
yeah, they're sucking our energy and they're like becoming more powerful from it, like a supervillain.
They extroverts use you as a battery to recharge.
They're like a
That's all they
supervillain who
see as a
enjoys,
battery.
yeah, they're like a supervillain who enjoys pole dancing.
Yeah,
Well, you know
it's
how extroverts
and
are all doing pole dancing now?
oh, they're doing everything. And what the extroverts do during quarantine, especially, is you'll get these people. They go down to the park and work out performatively and
Right.
play like their dance music on like super big speakers. So they just monopolize the soundscape of the whole park. So you
It's
got a guy like Blaston Rufus doing like CrossFit, doing
right.
like a circuit around the park, just taking up all the
Just taking
space.
up as maximum area.
And they do it with all their friends and shit and turn it into a kind of substitute nightclub,
Is
but
that
it's
what's going
technically
on down
allowed.
there in lockdown? People are creating a bit of fun in the park.
Yeah, so they take their shirts off and like do fucking push-ups and
How do you
go,
feel about that when you see
and
when you
start
see
punching.
that?
Well, I just think it's like what's with these people who are just these unofficial DJs of the outside world, you know? Like that should be illegal. Like, because you got the meth head with the portable speaker on the train.
I knew it was coming. The portable Bluetooth speaker
Or you got the
has
portable
got to have
Bluetooth
come
guy.
up in in about 27 episodes of
Well,
our
yeah,
podcast, I reckon.
but you got those Bluetooth fuckheads with no teeth,
Mm.
and then you got these guys that have the Bluetooth that set up the big sounds and do the CrossFit. The
Mm.
yuppies extrovert that needs to go like punch
Yeah.
and do like kickboxing and shit just in the face.
Out in the, yeah. Out in the
Yeah, and they blast their music so fucking loud.
Do you reckon it'd be funny
Like,
to go down there and blast like some like Richard Dawkins or something? Like just like have an like performative academic blasting Zizek in the park. Here we are. And you're just like, you're not moving. You're just like sitting and listening. Like
yeah. That'd be great.
Nobody ever
My friend
blasts.
Peter Slaughterjag, by no means a left winger. Like
Yeah.
just blasting that in a park. People are like, what the fuck? There's a
You're on,
Slovenian guy with a speech impediment yelling
yeah.
about the Hegelian dialectic.
Yeah. You're on public transport with a Bluetooth and it's just, here we are. Of course, capitalism is by no means perfect. I am not stupid, like just really loud.
This is,
People,
I claim, you, what, you're animal? You'll turn into monkey. Please don't. Like, just
imagine
crazy.
the most disgusting thing, shit forming inside you. It's one of my favorite quotes of his.
That'd be, so Habermas, by no means my best friend. He's
Come on, I am not
intellectual.
stupid here. Hegel, of course, I love him.
And, yeah.
But here
Yeah.
he is wrong.
Yeah, and so on. I have diabetes and so on.
But you're
eating chicken and fucking.
I
Have a
eat
Coke, you
chicken
fuck.
every day. I have too much fat. It'd be funny if the guy is also dressed like the Mother Energy drink guy. He's got the bum bag and Mother Energy drink. He's like shitty like basketball singlet, no shoes, but he's blasting Richard Dawkins' The God Delusion audio.
He's doing the crystal meth chicken walk, like get the fuck, like
Yeah.
trying to get on buses and shit. Like,
Yeah, out
God
of
is
the way.
dead.
Yeah, out of the way, fucking fuckhead. Of course, presumably God is dead, and of course, it's the same belief as believing that there's a teacup circulating the sun. You know, it's absolutely ridiculous to believe in God. God is in our consciousness. Oh, he fucking Steve, you can't. Like he sees one of his mates who's listening to Slavoj Žižek on his phone on speaker. Here we are. Hey, Steve, you fuckhead. Like a group of them.
Yeah, yeah, and they just have
sometimes
like,
there's a group of them listening to loud music together.
and it clashes. Like you can get like Bluetooth overlaps.
Yeah. But it's
Like
Slavoj Žižek and fucking Dawkins. Presumably, of course, God was never real.
Yeah.
Here we are alone. There is no big other.
Once again, it's purest. But yeah, that's the thing. I would like to go down and do that. And like, why can't you do that? Why can't you go down and blast a podcast about metaphysics?
Yeah, well, because I like the idea a lot because it's never been done before. Because every time there's a beautiful pristine beach at Burleigh Heads that I go to sometimes, and it's always the same music. It's not even good music. It's just shit like, get the club, bitch. You get that champagne, I pour it on your fucking tits, bitch. Every night, tonight. You know that shit where it's all about
club. That's what they're playing down now. Trying to simulate the nightclub they miss, because they miss like doing MDMA and like staying up all night in a mosh pit.
Right. Yeah, so they're trying to recreate it in the park with the ibises and stuff at the bin.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a weird. Yeah. They like maybe now musicians will those kinds of musicians will actually try and emulate lockdown like parks. So it's like, you're drinking a 2-liter bottle of Coke down at the club where there's an ibis at the bin and people are confused while you're playing loud music. Yeah, bitch. Like they're trying to capture the the new.
Used to go on the pub crawl. Now you get yourself diarrhea. Visit all the public toilets in your neighborhood. Yeah.
Hanging out in the public toilets at night, they might get stabbed.
Spraying all the porcelain in your precinct with diarrhea, yeah. Because you missed the club. That'd be great if they integrate lockdown culture into rap, like to R&B. I mean.
Oh shit! There's always an illusion that technology will make our lives give us more free time.
Yeah.
Like there's that kind of idea that, well, we've got a supercomputer in our pockets now and we have access to unlimited data and information. Therefore, I should have more free time because technology is more advanced. But nothing could be further from the truth. Like, look at what's happening now. Like, you'd think people would be working less because, offices are shut down. We have computers and stuff. But think about, like, I was thinking the other day, like, that story Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. It's a brilliant short story about a man, one of the most famous short stories ever, about a man who famously goes to work religiously, works really hard, support his family, and then one day wakes up and he's an insect. And I was just thinking, he wakes up as an insect and, can't go to work. But if that was today, he'd wake up as an insect and just zoom in.
Yeah.
And just zoom in as an insect. And everyone would be, you know, like how you zoom in and there's a moment where your face appears and just be him like as a cockroach. Like,
They'd be like, Gary's changed his Zoom filter. So, you know, there could be some,
yeah.
put like Hawaii in the background or whatever.
Gary's got some goofy filter. It looks cool, man.
Yeah, he's ironic. I guess it's a commentary on corporate culture that he likes to do with his silly coffee mug.
Yeah,
You know?
it'd be. I mean, I'd imagine it'd be different once he goes into the office as a giant cockroach, and everyone's like, "Oh, Gary's here." You know, obviously, it'd be weird if he worked for Mortine.
Yeah,
or a pest.
So Mortine HQ
in some kind of dystopian reality where he goes into Mortine headquarters as a cockroach and they perform tests on him.
A cockroach zooming in to work at Mortine.
Yeah.
Like zooming into the corporation.
Yeah.
Because then people would think it was even more of a commentary on the corporation. Like, we get it, is like satirizing within the company. That's what we do now.
Yeah, like he's interested in trying to give a voice to the insect that we want to be killed. What a great commentary. Or is this a protest? Or but what would inevitably happen now if someone woke up as an insect? Would people would be like, it would become a great story on the web. Like people would be like, oh my God, he was an insect. And you know, there'd be one of those goofy viral clips where the nice music plays and it's like, he was an insect and then he woke up one day and he still went to work and now, you know, he lives his life as an insect and he continues to go to work and carry on his life.
It'd be like an ad for an insurance company, eh? Like, you can keep working no matter what happens.
Yeah.
You know those ads where it's like, I lost a leg trying to stop a fire, but I'm still back, and they play like funky music and they're like dancing around with like a bionic leg.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Making spaghetti.
Yeah. And it'd be that, but it's like, hi, you know, I woke up as a cockroach and, yeah, I was able to, thanks to Allianz, I was able to continue work as a cockroach. And then it shows him at work, like walking around and customers screaming and so on. And he's like, yeah, and I've even got enough money for a little holiday. It's got a cockroach in Thailand.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the production company couldn't afford the footage of the actual cockroach. So they just, you know, zoomed in on an actual, like they're trying to trick the people watching the ad. Like it's not really him in Thailand. It's a zoomed in cockroach. Like they just zoomed in on a cockroach in Thailand.
One in Phuket that was scuttling around.
Yeah.
I guess it'd make lunchtime difficult at the office.
Yeah.
Like, there's a cockroach in that fucking soup. It's like, no, he's just having lunch, mate.
Yeah. Well, he'd be a human-sized cockroach, I'd imagine.
Oh, right. He's a big
cockroach.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's not like a little cockroach.
Yeah, right.
Because in the book, like, obviously in the book, he's just had a mental breakdown. He's not actually a cockroach at all, but
it's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. Metamorphosis is a metaphor.
Yeah. I thought it was a documentary.
Yeah. I took it as a documentary myself.
I thought it was a scientific study.
But yeah, he's big enough insect that they perceive him to be like they know it's him. They're like, oh, Steve's an insect. You know what I mean? It's not like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah.
Where they're like, where are the kids? Oh, what's that thing on the table? Better swat it with a newspaper. And it's his 12-year-old daughter or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's not that.
It's like, not, yeah.
Animal team would just be pepper spray to this guy.
Right. Right. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Like it sprays like, like that.
Yeah. It doesn't kill him. It's like, man, don't spray that stuff near me. I hate that stuff. It probably, a can of Mortine would be the same as what it is to us.
Yeah.
Like if I sprayed you with a can of Mortine, you wouldn't enjoy that either. The toxins and so on.
Yeah. No. It'd just be bad for the eyes. Yeah.
I think technology has made us stupider though. Like I don't think we're progressing. It's just the stupidity has more advanced ways of getting around.
Yeah,
If that makes sense. Like if you have like if I have a stupid idea, I can just get it to you quicker now through a text message. Like in medieval times, there were so many stupid ideas.
Yeah.
And they still exist today. They're just packaged differently. Like if you felt depressed or something in the Middle Ages or sick, they just put leeches on you because they thought the blood, like they thought just like leeches drinking your blood, like blood leaving your body would help.
Yeah.
Which is insane and completely false. But if I set up a wellness website and one of my products was leeches, like these leeches are really good for your blood and good for your metabolism, and they help with skin and blood, like leech bleeding is like really healthy. I reckon I'd sell leeches, Byron Bay leeches, organic Byron Bay leeches.
You get bought out by Gloop, Gwyneth Paltrow's wellness brand.
Gwyneth
Paltrow. We'll give you $1 billion for the leech thing. We didn't think of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it would you could actually totally, you could have like a leech app and, different types of leeches, and they do different things. Like some's for good skin, some's for like heart stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
think have a nice website and stuff.
You've just got to give it a good like narrative as well, talking about how the leeches are like farmed organically, farm to table leeches.
Yeah. You have the, the footage, the grainy footage of the old bloke who's got weathered hands. Like, grabbing a handful of leeches. These leeches, we grow them out here in the hinterlands of the Byron Bay, and they're beautiful leeches. And they're just, we do it all by hand the old way. The old way they used to do leeches.
In the medieval times.
In the Middle Ages. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like ancestral eating. How about ancestral medicine? Medicine from medieval times.
Yeah.
Where you just let someone bleed out in a bath.
Yeah. Because they feel down.
Yeah. So you slit whatever the fuck they did.
I wonder when people were depressed because they didn't know what depression was, they come in and go, I just feel really, and they'd be like, yeah, try some leeches. I reckon people would have walked out going, yeah, I feel better, I think.
Yeah.
I feel better.
Often you just feel good for the social interaction of someone going, try this.
There's a bit of a boost. There. Well, everyone's got a phone now, and the thing that scares me about that is just getting filmed doing something embarrassing. Do you ever get paranoid about that? Like you're going to be doing something embarrassing, you don't know anyone's around, and they're secretly filming you, and you're going to end up on social media, especially what?
When you're in China, you like take the bins out and pick your nose, and then it's like on state media.
Oh yeah.
Because you're being
it sucks when you're in a surveillance state. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Xi Jinping's watching you take a diarrhea shit in the park. You thought no one was watching.
On TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I like to run through the neighborhood screaming, why was I born? And when will this end? And I'm worried that it's going to get filmed and put up and go viral on TikTok because it's so relatable.
Yeah. Someone is gonna film that. If you go out and do that, like someone will. People start filming things that are hectic now
immediately.
Like if something starts escalating.
Yeah.
That's why you could make The Sopranos now, because like there's scenes where a guy gets kicked to death in an alfresco dining situation.
Right.
And people just go, oh my God, like someone call the police. But now people are like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, they film it first because it could make a good TikTok.
There's fucking two wogs trying to kill each other. Fuck, let's put it online.
Oh man, that actually happened in Melbourne. There's this really famous Greek restaurant called Stalactites.
Right.
And there was just a full blown brawl, and you can watch it on YouTube.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like the Broadbeach Bikey Brekkie brawl. It's on YouTube if you want to watch it.
Yeah. In some ways, it's a good time to be alive.
Yeah.
Uh, I've got like I reckon I've got every streaming service. I've got, you know what the thing is these days is like, I have so many services, technology services that you just
It's too
forget you're
much.
paying for. You forget you're paying
Yeah.
for them.
It's like because when you're a kid, you go to this corner store and you count out the shrapnel for the Super Duper or whatever.
Right.
You know, it'd be like 30 cents, and you'd be like, remember 10 cents and stuff was precious?
Oh
Like you'd
yeah.
like 10 cents, like you'd be like, like, he took my 10 cents. Like you'd
Oh,
actually grieve over the loss, like your wallet feels emptier. It was like a pain. It was almost like a pain to like part with the cash because it felt like it was so real.
you physically count it out and you touch it and it's there and you have it, then it's gone. You see it. You hand over something physically valuable.
It's like gold or something.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Like
absolutely.
like you hoard it.
Yeah.
But you can't hoard your bank account because it's so abstracted, and it's like these streaming services. I don't like. There's no way to feel the pain of being charged a direct debit for Amazon Prime.
Well, you don't even know what's happening.
Yeah, I was thinking of getting a dog collar that tases you every time you get charged for a subscription service you forgot you signed up for.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
$7. So you'd be like, people would be in the street just going, fuck, like they'd feel it. They're like, $7, Apple TV, got to cancel.
Yeah. yeah. That's your new Silicon Valley idea. Like just a movie Criterion Collection. I forgot I signed up for that for one movie.
Paramount Plus, fuck off. Like you forgot because you did the free trial.
Yeah.
They get you the free trial, then 6 years later, you've been paying $12 for Microsoft Word and you forgot about it.
Right. So you get zapped and then you'd look at the collar and it'd tell you Microsoft. It'd have the name of the service that's continuing to bill you.
It's a dog collar for humans to remind them of their invisible costs of direct debit.
That's the pitch right there for Silicon Valley. They're like, all right, so tell us what you got. It's a dog collar for humans that remind you of invisible direct debits that you may have forgotten about by electrocuting you.
You know that thing that they give dogs and they move out of their perimeter and they can't bark and shit?
Yeah. It's like that.
For some services, mate.
Yeah, it's like that, mate.
You like it? Yeah, because like that's the thing. Like when you get pickpocketed, you feel it because the guy's got a knife. He's like, get the fuck it. Like he gets the diamond off you or whatever.
Yeah, you're physically mugged. You get mugged. Yeah.
You're in Italy. There's a guy dressed as a centurion going, give me your watch. And you lose it. But yeah.
But with this, it's like a silent pickpocket, like in the movies, like Oliver Twist or whatever. You've got to pick a pocket or two. That's what that's what Jeff Bezos is doing on his rocket ship. You've got to pick a pocket or two. He's just pickpocketing us.
Can I have some more? $4 a month, please, my lord. Yeah.
More? Jeff Bezos is like, more?
It's the difference between being like a knife attack, give me your fucking wallet, and like you feeling it, and an estranged family members embezzling money off the side.
Right.
From the
like when you've got that cousin who's got a heroin addiction and you're just like, he ain't going to get me. Like you got to hide all your valuables and shit because they might just disappear.
But actually he's got access to your account, the trust somehow, and he's funneling it out into a siphoned off side account.
So in this analogy, that's Jeff Bezos is a vaguely related heroin addict who steals money at the family barbecue.
Exactly, but his drug is going to the moon or whatever, getting in a spaceship.
Yeah, right.
Like that spaceship was funded by us going, Amazon Prime, I'll give that a go to watch Man in the High Castle and forget about it.
Yeah, now he's in a rocket ship. And you see that I saw the rocket take off and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't watched Prime in ages. I got to cancel that. That's what I thought. Like people were like, amazing private space travel, incredible, opening up civilians, astronauts. I was like, fuck. Oh yeah. I should
shut down that subscription service I forgot I signed up for. Fuck, Amazon Prime sucks.
Fuck.
You know, he probably has a dog collar that like makes him come every time he gets the direct debit.
Right.
From people.
Yeah.
Or like he goes, oh yeah.
Well, that's what we'll be saying in the future. You know, we'll be like, oh, I remember in my day, we had Facebook and we called each other and text messaged each other. You kids these days, you're all bloody disconnected because you sit in your Amazon pods where your life source is extracted by Jeff Bezos so he can launch cock-shaped rockets to Mars where he lives in a palace.
Yeah, yeah.
The Jeff Bezos Amazon pod. Like it's just a pod.
Totally. It's like oil used to be the commodity. Now it's data, and it's rocket fuel for him. Like instead of oil, it's rocket fuel, the data.
Yeah.
Like you watching Amazon, like sends the rocket up.
Your date of birth and and who you're friends with and what you said to them and stuff is fueling Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
If the Matrix was real, Amazon would own it. That's all I'm saying.
Those machines are Amazon Prime drones.
Right. Yeah.
When I watched The Matrix, I wanted to be the guy in the vat, like in the embryonic vat. Like I thought that was the best reality. Like some people are like, oh, is it better to be in the Matrix or to be in that other world where they're eating porridge? You know, there's like the real world.
Yeah. You want to be the guy who ordered the steak.
No, I want to be the guy in the vat. The guy in the vat with the micro penis that's getting fed like stuff through that tube.
So you just wanted to be, you chose it. So that's something I've never heard before. There's an interesting philosophical question posited in the Matrix, which is, do you want to face the pain of reality or live in a simulation that is fake, but more comfortable? But you're saying you want to be conscious just in a pod of goo. Just like you're not in either reality, really. You're just in the pod. Yeah,
you're sort of just safe in this sort of worm-like.
Well, you certainly not get invited to engagement parties that you don't want to go to when you're just in a warm pod vat
with gelatinous sort of nutrients like seeping in. But you'd feel so safe. Do you know what I mean? You'd be like, I'm so safe. Like I'm in this shuttle. Like,
yeah. No one ever talks about how comfortable the pod looks.
Yeah. Well, why are we all trying to return to the womb? You know?
Exactly.
Like
that could be a great little service. You know? Come experience Dan Rath's pods where you just lie in like warm goo.
Well, that seems like that will be a thing. Like
absolutely.
You'll just have a session in a goo bath and be like absorb nutrients.
Yeah.
Like what's the difference between that thing and a float tank is what I'm saying.
There's actually
like,
no
I pay
difference.
$60 to do a float tank so that I can have a psychedelic experience. What's the difference between that and sitting neutral in one of those pods, like just having a machine sort of tend to you?
There's no difference, except the float tanks yet don't have an alternate reality that you can plug into, unfortunately. But you're not saying that's what you want anyway. So you just, I'd just say do float tanks.
Yeah. No, I am.
Yeah, I already. Okay. Well, I guess we've come full circle, really, haven't we? You know,
with the iodized salt and so on.
Yeah.
Magnesium.
Yeah. Oozing in. You know, we live in truly fragmented times as far as beliefs and stuff go, obviously. Like, you can't tell what anyone believes anymore. Like, you don't know what anyone believes anymore. When I was growing up in the 90s, it would be simple. Are you a Christian or an atheist? Do you vote Labor, Liberal? That was about it. You know what I mean? There weren't a conspiracy theorist was someone who lived under a bridge. It was it was a wild, someone who had obscure beliefs was a rare thing. Someone on the fringes of society. And I think it poses an interesting question, like the intellectuals in the late 90s, early 2000s were Richard Dawkins. Christopher Hitchens had a resurgence. It was remember there was the big atheist?
The Four Horsemen.
Yeah.
And so on.
I was like, Dawkins, absolutely. God isn't real. Religion is dumb. Don't you get it?
Yeah. It was like, it was like so popular.
And it'd have Dawkins running around to churches going, and so if your God is real, who created him and so on? It's absolutely absurd. and there'd be some Texan religious guy going, well, y'all got to believe that there is a God. Some God, I know
Yeah.
God saved my dog. So
Yeah. There'd be,
presumably your dog was just a lucky thing that happened, that it got hit by a truck and now it's okay. I mean, could you say that was God? Absolutely, I say it's God. And that just went on for like
more
3 hours.
likely you believe that that dinosaurs, lizards as tall as skyscrapers died because a rock from space hit them. That's some Jurassic Park shit.
That's some weird shit you're thinking there.
I just believe in a carpenter that forgave everybody.
Well, presumably your carpenter friend is an idiot. I mean, there's absolutely no evidence that he was a god at all. I'm sure he was very smart and he was a good
His name's
carpenter.
Christ. Christ, my savior, made a bunch of tuna melts for all the disciples.
He didn't make, he didn't, he starts getting really angry. He didn't make tuna melts. He took fish and gave them. He didn't do that. It didn't actually happen.
He's like, there's fossils, my lord. Have you not seen those?
It was fascinating to watch because like you say, the other guy would just be like, well, I don't even know if there are fossils. I remember I've got the evidence. And it's just like, dude, you're never going to change.
Fossils. God planted them to test our faith.
Well, you're testing my faith right now. Presumably, of course, it'd just be this back and forth. But you know what? Dawkins never covered what would fill the void.
Yeah.
He never covered what would fill the void.
All the conspiracies, QAnon, all that stuff comes into the vacuum. It's like when America pulled out of Afghanistan.
They didn't exactly.
Fill it.
What fills the void, Dawkins, when when you say, all right, there's no God, and everyone goes, yeah, you're right. Oh, atheism, rises. There's less people believe in church. So what happens is people have to believe in something. And now with the internet, people's beliefs are exhausting.
Yeah.
Like someone will be like, yeah, I believe in some elements of Christianity and Buddhism, but I'm not a Buddhist or a Christian. And I believe in astrology and the alignment of the planets. I'm also not a big fan of the vaccine. I don't think that's real. And I believe in the conspiracy that the Clinton Foundation is actually running the planet because they're a ring of pedophiles. And also I'm a Jew.
Yeah.
Fuck, what?
It used to be like in the old days, like the left were for smoking weed and the right were against gay people. Now it's like people pick and choose like their beliefs, like they're at a salad bar, like just customizing. So like, I'm going to be, a yoga teacher into healing crystals and the Holocaust didn't happen. Like, it's just weird.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah. It's a hodgepodge. I believe in gay rights, but I fucking hate, like I believe in I believe in the police, like the police, the Black Lives Matter thing. I don't believe in it. Like, sometimes you get like left wing, I'm pro gay rights, but I'm also anti this element of the left. It's
well, that's why like at that protest, there was that hippie that punched the horse at the conservative anti-lockdown.
Yeah.
Rally.
Yeah.
Like 20 years ago, that guy would have been at a Stop Adani march or a anti-coal seam gas or a peace activist. Like these days, you go to a protest, you see a guy with dreadlocks playing hacky sack with a skinhead.
Yeah. Anything's possible. People are being brought together. That's why, I mean, North Korea is a horrible place, but at least it's just one belief. Yeah. Everyone's just one thing. Go in and go, what do you think? The supreme leader. Yep. End of conversation.
There's a clarity to it.
Yeah. It's not like, is Venus in retrograde? It's like the supreme leader discovered Venus.
Yeah. That's relaxing.
Yeah. It's easy.
No ass. He doesn't have an ass. Simple. And
like, I used to watch Doomsday Preppers. Like, talking about crazy beliefs, like on cable. Do you ever see that show?
Yeah, like it was just like a weird, like, oh, look at these people.
Yeah, Doomsday Preppers were a type of belief system where they believe the end of the world is imminent, and they had the cable show, and they're all fucking crazy. They'd spend all their weekends preparing for the end of the world, and everyone had a bit of a laugh. They're like, oh yeah, look at that crazy family practicing shooting bow and arrows and learning to hunt. And they built a nuclear proof bunker. Ha ha ha. And they all had different reasons for what they thought the end of the world would be. Pandemic, war, World War III, nuclear war, economic collapse, and climate change, ecological catastrophe. Now, when I see Doomsday Preppers, I'm like, oh, how thick are the walls?
Yeah, it's like
Where's
practical.
yeah? How many liters of water do we need to keep in the event? Like now, it's just like good
Yeah.
practical information.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's more like a how-to, like it should be on a TV show, like a morning show where they do like homewares and cooking
Yeah.
and stuff.
Like when they do the morning shows, they always have that lady's like, and we've got Moira over here to talk about what she's cooking this week and
Yeah, yeah.
like what she's growing in her garden or whatever. But in the morning show, it's like we've got Trevor here who's got a metal plate in his head because he had an accident with a tractor building an irrigation ditch. But he's
See,
also
yeah.
he's going to be here telling us how he's going to decorate his bunker.
See this sinister individual with dreadlocks and a swastika on his forehead? He's got a few tips on how to do meal prep forever.
Yeah, I guess a doomsday prepper is meal prepping forever.
It's prepping forever. It's like, because meal prep's just for the week. They're like, let's do this until the end of my life. Like they need meals for, because it'll be like a nuclear
Yeah.
hellscape. So you'll need like every day until you perish, until like you're 70 or whatever.
Yeah, it's like the ultimate meal prep, really, isn't it? For the organized individual.
Yeah.
Here's every meal for the rest of my life.
Well, now, like you're right, doomsday preppers are like, they used to be like hillbillies as well. Like, this is my bunker, like for when they take over the lizards or whatever. But now,
Yeah.
like tech startups have actual bunkers and doomsday prep in New Zealand.
Really?
Like all those tech startups have like bunkers in New Zealand because they know the apocalypse is coming.
Yeah, I heard that, like Facebook and all those people.
Yeah, yeah. So they go because New Zealand is going to be like the utopia that like
In
will
the
avoid
movies.
all. Yeah, because no one's going to nuke New Zealand.
Yeah, Goundorf, you shall not pass. We'll do that to the bomb as it lands.
Yeah, totally. Well, it's just such a great, like, it's like if Hawaii and Scotland got together. Like it's
it's no one in international politics is like talks have fallen apart with China and New Zealand.
Yeah,
where war might be. It's like what?
Auckland is dust, my liege. Yeah, like it's like, yeah, that's why they're there. It's like they're hedging their bets against the apocalypse.
That's utterly fucking terrifying.
That's why you're right. There should be a morning show like Martha Stewart or whatever, or like, there should be an aisle at camp, boating, camping, fishing, dedicated to like hazmat masks and like anti-nuclear radiation jackets and vests.
Well, that would have happened in the 50s, eh? Like that would have been commonplace. Because didn't they get school kids like, if in a nuclear attack, jump under the table and shit?
Yeah. Duck and cover, my lord. Yeah, the other thing is like all these companies adapt to it, like seamlessly incorporate the apocalypse into their marketing.
That's the thing. Like the corporations and stuff just create more. They make money off the destruction. Like as in, like if the world starts to disintegrate, they'll just be like the disintegration Coke. Get your new Coke with the type of, like get a free gas mask with your Coke.
Yeah. COVID Zero, the new no sugar soft drink.
Exactly. Like I saw like a Pepsi testing center in America. It was like Pepsi Cola COVID testing center.
Right. Yeah. They'll just end up sponsoring the hazmat mask you have to use to go to Woolworths.
Yeah.
Like it'll be like, I just put my Pepsi mask on so I can go to the shops. Make sure you've got your Pepsi face shield for the nuclear contaminants that are in the air now when you go outside. That's free. The funny thing I see.
Yeah, free. Sorry? Like they have it with a Happy Meal. Get a Happy Meal and get a free nuclear fallout blanket. In the event of nuclear radiation, you can cover yourself.
Yeah, in Happy
Dun,
Meals, you'll
dun,
get.
dun, dun, dun. You know, they have the
Yeah,
McDonald's.
I'm not loving it, but yeah, they have like a thing that can measure like the radons or whatever, the radioactive waste in your area in the
Oh yeah,
Happy
tick,
Meal.
tick, 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 tick. Yeah, yeah.
That's the Happy Meal. Look, he's measuring the radioactive waste in the playground. Cute. When he does it, beep, beep, beep. Oh shit, we got to get out of here. Put your Pepsi mask on. That's
Oh
what's going to
shit.
happen. I swear to
It
God.
makes you miss the simpler times when aliens, like when the biggest conspiracy theory, there was one. There was like, oh, the government might be lying to you, blah, blah, blah. But there was one conspiracy theory, and that was there was aliens.
Yeah.
Now there's a million conspiracy theories, like about everything all the time. But there used to be just one in the 80s. It was just there might be aliens and the government might be lying about it. And that's all the choices you had, you know?
Yeah. You had to use archives as
Remember
well. So
like, remember like, um, being abducted by an alien was a big thing. Like now that people don't
yeah.
even, it's not even, no one cares about aliens anymore because there's so much shit going on here. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like the UFO reports, no one looked at them because they're
Yeah.
like, yeah, no, look, my local Coles is a crematorium, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, they turned the putt-putt course near my house into a 24/7 crematorium. So
Yeah.
I'm not really.
If the alien, yeah, it's a funny attitude. It used to be like, aliens, please find us. Where
Yeah.
are you out there? That was like the 80s. Aliens, are
Yeah.
you out there? Now it's like, if you're gonna come, can't like just hurry. Like
Yeah.
we don't care.
Weren't
We're
the
busy. You know?
Because the four horsemen of the apocalypse, they were supposed to come at the same time. Like the
Right.
galaxy, where it wasn't like pestilence was behind like the plague going, wait up, so my horse has a problem with its thing. You know, now it's like the apocalypse is like the four wrestlers, like they tag team in. They're like, COVID, slap me in. It's like, I got a chokehold on the economy. It's climate change.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. Like Captain Planet, but the opposite. I'm
yeah,
climate change. I'm pestilence.
yeah,
I'm the pandemic. I'm Islamic extremism. You know, and
yeah.
they all
I'm
like,
the
let our powers combine. I'm economic collapse.
they tag team in like it's one at a time. They're not coming. Do you know what I
Right.
mean? It's just like the bushfires tag teamed with COVID. Like,
Oh,
like, I'm out.
yeah.
Bushfire's like, I'm out. And COVID's like, oh, bring me in.
All right, I see what you mean. Like one,
Yeah.
it was like economic collapse, terrorism, climate change, pandemic. Now we're going
Yeah.
back now like economic collapse is tagging back in.
It's like, yeah, they have a rest. Like they're
Yeah.
just drinking Gatorade on
Like
the
terrorism
side.
had a good rest, didn't it? Now
Oh,
terrorism's like, hey, we're back. Tag us
yeah.
back in.
Just as the vaccine came in, they're like, Taliban back. ISIS K. We've reformed. And this time we're on. They're taking
Like a weird,
supplements.
yeah, like a weird Japanese cartoon. We're back. We're ISIS K. They sound like a Korean pop group, don't they?
Well, yeah, because yeah, like a little group that does one at a time. Because the bushfires, like literally, they were like, we're gonna fuck the regions, okay? And then they're like, we're exhausted. We just burnt down regional New South Wales. And then COVID's like, I'll take the city.
Yeah. It's like Power Rangers or something.
Yeah,
Um,
because COVID doesn't fuck the bush as much because it's just
yeah, because it's
isolated
regional. Oh,
farmers.
I see what you mean. Yeah, they're specializing in certain
Yeah,
areas.
the horseman
Um,
special.
uh, yeah, but I almost missed the alien abduction stories. Were so like, when was the last time you heard an alien abduction a story? You know, like
Last week, yeah. No, haven't heard one for years.
it'd be funny who they take. I think, you know, like who do they pick?
Yeah, they always pick the crazy people to abduct.
It's funny that, isn't it?
Yeah, I was thinking like as well with those dogs that are like really
Pugs.
fucked up. Yeah, the ones that like have like genetic problems because
Yeah,
they've
yeah.
been
My brother had a
bred.
pug, and it was just so bred that it's like it's a perpetual medical problem.
Yeah.
Like it's just like just breathe, but it's exotic to have one.
Yeah, it's
But
more expensive
yeah.
to have a dog that has breathing problems. It like shows that you're moving up in the world.
Oh, they're completely fucked.
So I wonder if like aliens took over, like if they would have us as slaves, but like they would have like humans with sleep apnea as like a status symbol. They're like, mine needs a machine to sleep. You got nothing.
So you're saying in
Okay.
this world, like the aliens would walk around a human with sleep apnea, like this is an exotic human.
Yeah. Like they have like ones in motorized scooters and stuff. It's like mine has a machine on it. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh, right. Like it requires a lot of medical assistance and so on, but that's what makes it more exotic, like the pug.
because it comes with parts. Yeah, it's like comes with an actual.
That is the craziest idea I've ever heard in my fucking life.
So having like a normal human's nothing. It's like what, a biped? Like having Chris Hemsworth or whatever is like whatever. It's
Yeah.
just a fuck.
It's a purebred. It's like, why didn't you do a rescue like my sleep apnea guy?
I got a rescue. He was on a ventilator. We refurbished him.
Yeah. It's like, and he's got like the sleep apnea mask.
And you know they feed him like organic food. Those bulldogs, they'll feed him like a weird like
Special.
human.
Yeah.
So
they feed him
like,
cheeseburgers in KFC.
Yeah. Yeah.
They prefer it. Like the alien vets, like they prefer it. The sleep apnea dudes in motorized scooters prefer KFC.
Yeah.
But if you get like a pure breed, like Crips Hemsworth, it's like, oh yeah, feeding him kale, are you? Ooh la la. Typical.
You're a low breed and you've got a low dog.